Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. If I look a little different today, it's because we had a cyclone bomb come through with a neighborhood, broke a tree off about 60 feet up, and the other 60 feet of it came down on my house, landed on my roof, went through my skylight, broke down the entire 60 feet of fence, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and I spent the next 3 days trying to clean that mess up. So that's why I look a little different. And plus some of the video got messed up from, because I was editing it when the tree came down right on top of me. I didn't get hurt, I'm fine. The house is a mess. All right, that's enough of that. Remake or reuse? That is the question. On today's video, we're gonna go over how to take apart an entire finished cabinet with 2 doors and 2 shelves, cut it all down and put it all back together again, remake the doors using the same doors, and no one will know the difference. How to take a 30-inch cabinet and make it a 26-inch cabinet in 4 simple steps. So the question is, do we remake the entire thing from scratch, or do we just reuse all the parts we have and cut them down and put it back together? So if you're going to remake the cabinet, you need to remill everything, reassemble everything, resand everything, restain it, refinish it, blah, 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 refit the doors and all that. We're not going to do that. I'm going to show you 4 simple little steps on how we're going to take a 30-inch wide cabinet and we're going to shrink it down 4 inches. Yeah. We're just going to put it in some water and let it shrink. No. Remake, reuse. That is the question. I say we reuse. So we're going to remake this cabinet with all the existing parts we have now. We're going to cut down the face frame. We're going to cut down the 2 shelves, the 2 doors, all the cleats, the floors, and blah, blah, blah. The only thing we don't have to remill is the sides. The sides are about it. Everything else gets remilled. All right. And the 4 steps are, number 1, we're going to figure out what size we need. And we need 26 inches. So after we do that, all right, well, that's done. We'll write it down. Number 2, we're going to make a simple little plan and a cut list. All right. A simple plan and a cut list, just like you're building a regular cabinet, and it's mainly for the doors. So we need to know what the rails are going to be, and we need to know what the raised panel is going to be. Because you can't just take and cut it down with the raised panel in it and expect it to be right, because it'll be short. Number 3. We're going to unassemble the entire cabinet. We're going to cut it down, and we're going to remachine all the pocket screw holes. All right? And we're going to get it ready to assemble. So number 4 is going to be reassembling the cabinet, put it all back together, put all the blocks in, the hinges in, all that stuff. We have to cut down the shelves and make sure those still fit. And once we do all that, then we're going to, after we shape the panel, all right, then we're going to stain it, and we're going to put a little finish on it. We're going to glue the door up, let it sit overnight, and the next day we're going to put the hinges on it, hang everything, and see how it looks. All right, and here we go. So we have this, which is now 26 inches. So put it all back together, take it apart and put it all back together. It probably took me 45 minutes to an hour. Completely done. There we go, boom. Everything's back in there. Okay, that's not a big deal. The thing that's gonna take the longest is gonna be the doors. So you can see what the problem would be now. I'll take the other door, and they're inset doors. See, it sits inside there like that, and it all has like a fat 16th reveal around all the bottom, the top, the sides, blah, 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 blah. These 2 are a little too big. Oopsie. Well, it doesn't fit now. So it fit great before when it was 30 inches long, but that was 4 inches too wide ago. Yeah. So if you ever need to do this, I made a little tiny thing on how you go about doing it right here. And I'm going to take the camera in a minute and I'll flip it over and we'll go over this whole thing and I'll show you how I do it step by step, really quick. So this is how you go about it. You got the opening, you subtract the gaps, which are 3/16 from the opening, which is this. You divide it by 2 doors, which is 11 and 25/32, or basically 11 3/4 minus a little bit. To get the rails, you take 11 3/4, you subtract the 2-inch stiles, both sides, which equal 4, gives you 7 3/4, okay? The raised panel is 7 3/4 plus a 1/2 inch, which is 8 1/4. And you always have to add the tongue back on that raised panel, whatever it is. It's mine are 1/4 inch. If yours are 5/16 or 3/8, then that's what it is. And this is the overall. So when we go to do this, we're going to pull the panel out, hopefully, and it comes out. Because sometimes the corners get glued in, and then you got to kind of heat it up and try to get it out of there. Anyway, and there you go. What I forgot to go over is the doors. So I label the doors, you know, right, and then this is the top, so I know when I cut the panel where everything's going to be and what's going on. And the easiest way to do it is to take your, like a strad or a little tiny square, whatever you got. We have 2 inches here, plus we need to take 2 inches off the panel. So we make it, you know, mark a little line down here. So this 4-inch mark down here is 7 3/4 from here, or 9 3/4 from here, right? I don't know if that'll fit in a little slot. It might. There it is, 9 3/4. Okay. So for the panel, what we're going to do is going to do the same thing. We're going to mark. Okay, there's 4, right? But remember, we got to add a 1/4 inch because we were to cut at that line, it'd be way too short. So we have to come a 1/4 inch this way for the tongue. So this line here is our cut line. Okay. This is the rail line, which is from here to here, and this is the cut line for this raised panel. So it's a good idea to mark your lefts and your rights and your what's top and what's not and all that stuff before you go do crazy stuff, because you don't want to forget and you don't want to mark the wrong thing the wrong way. So do it in place like this, take it off, label it with tape and all that, and then take it off, and off the table saw I go. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. All right, so here's the parts. So the first cut I did, I just set it at like 11 1/2, and I just cut it loose. Here's the bottom. Let's see. There's the bottom, and I got to cut this little bit off now. And the raised panel's in there. Can you see it? There's the back of it. Oh, there it is. But anyway, so there we go. So that's what that looks like. And then I got this panel in here, which I know it won't come out just by wiggle-waggling it. But you have to be careful. You don't want to break this off. Let me see. And you got to be careful. You don't want to damage. You see that? I don't want to damage this edge, which I almost just did. So you kind of turn it like this. And kind of a little bit at a time. And put it in there on the shoulder and kind of, oh, look at that. Now I got the, now I got it, I think. Now it's in there. You just go back and forth and give it the old twister. All right, you gotta be careful. You don't want to break it. Knowing me, I'll break it. Oh, I got it. All right. So now there's 2 things we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut this down till 9 3/4, so it hits that mark right there. And then I'm gonna take this panel here, and I'm gonna cut it to that mark right there, which should be 8 1/4, I think. Isn't that what I said? So cut this down to 9 3/4, cut this down to 8 1/4, and then I have to reshape it and all that other happy horse doo-doo. All right, magic button, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay. So these rails are all different because they were fit inside. So this one's actually narrower than this one. So the way to get your size you want is to be able just to get them in there like this, okay? And then adjust your fence until it's exactly where you want it. And you can see it's a little too tight. You don't want it to hit. You just barely want it to touch. So this one will fit in, no problem. We can cut that off. But this one, if I did exactly the same without checking it, it's not even close. It's way bigger. I'm gonna cut this one first, which is the left one. I'm gonna do it right now. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that or not on there. There's a little bit left. So I'm gonna cut this off here, okay? Potato chip. Yeah. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just checking to make sure they're pretty much the same. They're pretty close. I'm just gonna bump it up slightly. On my table saw. Just barely moved my table saw, so hopefully this will all work out good. Here we go. Okay, and that little bit that's left on this one, this is completely gone. So I'm actually just gonna leave that little bit in there because I don't think you're even gonna see it when it's all said and done. I might, yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave that. So we're gonna go with that. So this is my tall fence jig. It's just made out of scrap plywood, more scrap. I get some spring clamps and I clamp it on there. Just spring clamps and I put them on back here. Attach them, and I don't know if you can see this over here. Just attach it like that. So it doesn't move. It's on there pretty good. So the angle is at 7. Take one of these guys just for a test. Take a test spin right here. Get the eyeball. Yeah, pretty good. And I'll raise this up a little bit. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this flat part down and we're going to make a cut. So I'm going to turn this on with a magic button. I'm going to run this through on both of them. We're going to stop it, flip the blade back up, and then we're going to do all the little tiny rabbits. This fence is really good. It's not super duper like stiff. For pushing up against something where you need to have a higher fence, it works pretty good, especially for doing stuff like this. It just gives me a bigger surface to push against, all right? So I can push up here. If you notice, the fence is way the hell down here. You'd have to get your fingers real close to the blade to do what I just did. So I'm going to make a video on how to do raised panels on your table saw. Actually, the whole door. I'll do the whole door just using your table saw. Yeah, it'd be cool. So the next thing we're going to do now is going to do this little rabbit right here on both of them, and then we're going to do the back rabbit, and that should be good. Came out pretty good. All right, so now we're going to put it in this rabbit on the back of this, and this one's a little deeper, a little taller. This is going to take 2 passes. Alright, before we're done, just to make sure, the new side, what we're going to do is try to fit this in here. Alright, and it slides right in. There it is, there's the panel. See the little gap there? And it's very white there. So I got to sand it, wire brush it, stain it, and get the thing out. Alright. Alright, peoples, I'll see you in a minute. Thanks for watching. Bye. There it is, there's the piece. The door is cut down and fit, and I just kind of pushed it all in there. The little back looks pretty good. I got the front looking good. What I just wanted to make sure is that this was the right size. Wonder how it's gonna fit. I got an idea. Here's what I'm gonna do real quick. I'm just gonna tape that one in there. Hopefully that'll hold it for a minute. So this one might be a little bit more gappy than the other one. We do the same thing here with some tape. And these doors aren't square or anything, they're just kind of sitting in there. Yeah, so there it is. Kind of fits, probably a little bit bigger. The gap's probably a little bit bigger than it was before. Because, whatever. But it's there, the doors are cut down. So I'm going to take it apart, I'm going to stain these, and then I'm going to go mortise and tenon these. I just wanted to see if it would fit, because I would hate to have it all mortised and tenoned up, glued it up, and it was like, holy crap, they're way too small, and then I have to make new ones anyway, and then I have to go through that all again. So I just want to make sure it was close, and it's close enough. It'll be good. Hey everybody, so Mr. Kevin here. Here's the 26-inch cabinet. It used to be 30, now it's 26. A little two-tip Tuesday thing for you is if you don't have the handles, like you're still waiting for them, you can use green tape, and you tape it on there and put it on the back side there and wrap it around itself, and you can have yourself a little handle. And just make sure they're sticking out before you close the door. It works good. All the doors open and close. The adjustable shelves are cut. The back's cut. The bottom's cut. The cleats are done. The face frame's done. It's all done. And there you go. It used to be 30. Now it's 26. Voila. Well, I hope that was sort of interesting. I hope that helped somebody. If you have any questions about it, just ask me. Comment below or email me on the, you can find the About section on my page, and then email me. I'll answer any questions you got. Well, time to go. Now I got to get to work. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, all that neat stuff. Fling, flang, the bang, bang. Yeah. Share this with the world. Tell all your friends, whatever else. And you have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love. Be safe out there. And I'll see you next time right here on the YouTubes on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. Bye. Everybody see my magic button? Here, if I spin around, I think it'll work. Ready? Magic button. Oh man, that made me dizzy. I gotta go the other way now. Oh, that's much better. Bye. Oh, I have to look on my plans. Hold on very much. It's really raining out there. Can you hear it? Oh crap, hear that? My propane is dying. The horn is blowing, the horn of death. Sugar just dropped like 2 degrees in like however long that thing burned out. Man! Pine nuts suck. They blow out and hit you in the head and do all sorts of weird things. So I'm going to put on my bulletproof mask. And, Luke, I am your father. I'm all steamy. Okay.